Welcome to the EOB podcast, where we talk about the weekend's box office and the new openings this week. I am Ben No, and joining me is Sen Duong. So, Sen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Although I don't think I was there when we were making our predictions for Cinderella.
I don't know who those two guys were. They left us with this. I mean, I just came into this job just now.
Dang, 68 million. Cinderella. Yeah. Dang, what the hell?
So I think we were both going for like 30.
Yeah.
I thought that it might go as high as 35, but almost double our projection.
Disney's been doing pretty well with these live-action adaptations of their classic animated features.
Why do you think it did so well? I mean, maybe because it's Disney, or that has the, like I say, the marketing power? Could it be that the new Frozen short is that great of a draw, or it's just a normal Disney box office take?
You know what? It seems like it's beginning to be a normality for them, a regularity for them, because they also have a Maleficent, the Angelina Jolie one.
I think. I think it's Maleficent. Yeah.
Yeah, Maleficent. Yeah. And that opened to like 69 million or something. So it's turning into something where they're going back to their classics, using special effects and set designs and makeup to turn these classic fairy tale movies, which could only be done, back in the days in animated form, into live action. And I guess that kind of brings something new to the table. And of course, the Frozen short really helps.
Yeah.
And the fact that they cast, Oscar-winning actors and actresses in it. In supporting roles.
Right. When Disney first announced they're going for the live action route, I think there were a lot of skepticism with them doing this.
Yeah, of course. It's not. I mean, their live action films, the Disney brand, wasn't as strong as the animated features brand. Back in the days. In general, when people hear adaptations, their expectations are kind of low.
Especially with animation, you could do everything better, really. I mean, because you don't need the special effects, but it seems like maybe things have caught up.
Yeah, special effects have caught up. Yeah. Now, kind of like the comic book movies, whatever you can imagine, you can put on screen, pretty much. And animated features aren't exactly cheap to make, but I guess the special effects have caught up, and it's cheap enough that they surprisingly, like, this live action version still costs 95 million.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's expensive, right? I mean, you have to design all the sets, the costumes, and of course the special effects. 90 million is kind of cheap.
Yeah. Man, Disney's like, they have another revenue stream here.
Yeah, you mean Cinderella 2? You're thinking?
No, I'm thinking they're gonna mine more of their classic animated features.
No, they already announced it, that the live action is the next big thing for them. I mean, no longer will they have to take out these old animation from the vault and
re-release them.
And re-release them like every couple of years, and then they go back into the vault. Now they can just like, hey, we're doing a live action this, and then they can do spin-offs and whatnot. Based on all these different characters, right?
Right.
And of course, you're probably going to have like some crossovers. The possibility are endless.
Yeah, right.
Cinderella, 67 million, coming in number one, surprisingly.
Yeah.
And the two previous hosts were completely wrong. Underestimated this by a lot.
Yeah, what were those guys thinking, right?
I know, they don't know anything. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
let's move on to Run All Night.
Run All Night. Yikes. I thought it would do 25?
Yeah,
no, 27. I say it would do 27ish, around what Nonstop did. The other Liam Neeson action movie directed by the same director, I think. And it did 11.
Yeah, and we were both way off here too.
Yes.
I guess Liam Neeson's particular set of skills aren't needed year-round. It's only needed like maybe once every other year.
Maybe only in January.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
March is pushing it.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere. Maybe Box Office Guru. He said this is the fourth Liam Neeson film in 1 year. but then I can only count three. Walk Among the Tombstones, Taken 3, and One All Night. I'm not sure which is the other one.
That comedy, Seth MacFarlane comedy, A Million Ways to Die in the West or something like that, I think.
Right. Okay.
He played the bad guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but Run All Night.
You know what? Maybe they're counting. I guess if they counted non-stop, it's almost a year. Yeah, almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
If you count non-stop, it's like his fourth action movie within the last year.
Okay.
So non-stop, Walk Among the Tombstones, Taken 3, One All Night, and he's pretty much playing the exact same character.
Right. And Run All Night is pretty much his lowest grossing, opening movie that opened in over 2,000 theaters.
Right, yeah.
So 11 million, but it still came number 2. And I guess I was wrong that, I said, well, the other host said in a previous podcast that you can't have too much Liam Neeson. I guess he was wrong.
Yeah. I guess you can't have too much of them.
Exactly, especially in March.
Yeah, and the reviews are decent. It's 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's for an action film, that's actually kind of solid.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised by the A- cinema score. And I think I read that it was like 55% female.
Yes, it's surprising. Yeah. I mean, sure, the leads are like these 4 really intense actors. You have Liam Neeson, you have Ed Harris, and you have the guy from RoboCop. And Nick Nolte also made a cameo.
Uh-huh.
So you have these like 4, super intense guys. They're all pretty good in the film. And I liked One All Night. I saw it last week, and I thought it's one of Liam Neeson's in terms of I thought it was better than the last Taken movie.
Oh, was it kind of like John Wick?
Yeah, it's kind of like John Wick, except reverse. The interesting thing is the Ed Harris character and Liam Neeson's character, they're buddies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They used to be friends. Kind of like John Wick too, except when even with friends, when one of you kill the other's son, friendship goes down the drain afterwards.
Right. But they kind of like, I don't really want to do this, but this is kind of personal. I have to take revenge.
Yeah.
Since that guy's my son.
Yeah. Yep. And I thought they did a pretty good job. It's just 4 Liam Neeson action thrillers in 1 year is probably too much.
Maybe, but I seriously think that it's all too familiar to the other movies, especially the John Wick, and it's really dark.
It is very dark compared to the Taken movies. It's super dark. There are scenes where it's just complete, it's like super contrasty, black and white. It's like you only see the highlights, these lines of highlighted by, the lighting.
Yeah, even when you see the promo, you don't see any action really. I mean, for the Taken movies, you see car chases, right? You see hand-to-hand combats.
Right.
But this one, they're mostly they're on a run, right? And they're pretty much like these, running away from gunfire or whatever. You don't see them really shoot back,
right.
And then a lot of it is the father and son bonding.
Yeah,
they're strange, right? And they try to let's stay together, let's compromise, just for one night to get through this.
I have to say this is one of the films in the trailer where they hide all of the action scenes, because in terms of action, there's actually a lot of hand-to-hand combat, a lot of gunfights, car chases. It's no less than the Taken movies. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so maybe it's a mistake to hide that. Usually you show the good stuff, right? You show the good stuff. Yeah. Even in comedy, you show all the laughs, and then you get the people in the theaters, and then they play out. Or maybe they feel like if they show any action sequences, people would be like, hey, wait a minute, didn't they just release Taken 3 like a month or 2 ago? Well, but you cast Liam Neeson. What else is he gonna do, right?
Yeah. So I guess maybe they were trying to differentiate it a little bit,
Maybe. So, but people say that it might have legs. I mean, since it's an A- cinema score, so it might stay in theaters.
Yeah, it might have legs. I mean, I was skeptical going in, and I walked out like, oh, this is actually pretty good. You know, it's better. It's definitely better than Taken 3.
Right. So it's probably a failure of marketing.
Could be a failure of marketing, or it could just be saturated. I really think 4 Liam Neeson movies in a year might be a little bit too much, especially since Nonstop did nearly 100 million, and Taken 3 also did nearly 100 million. Interestingly, I think this is more like a cross between, A Walk Among Tombstones and the Taken movies. In A Walk Among the Tombstones, it is a quieter film, and there is some humor in it. The writing is pretty good. The script is pretty good. In One All Night, you have the thrilling action sequences from the Taken movies, and during the quieter moments, it is more like A Walk Among the Tombstones. So I thought it's a pretty good mix between those two.
Maybe, but not a lot of people turn out for it. And I guess they highlighted the wrong part.
Yeah, they probably did. Yeah.
Especially for the demographics. I mean, when your movie is like 55% female, I don't know, something is wrong.
It's kind of odd though, because when you look at it, sure, the stars are mostly male actors. It's Liam Neeson, it's Ed Harris, it's Joel Kinnaman. I guess he's the RoboCop guy. They're all very intense, and they're all very good actors. I feel like. And they all did their job pretty well. Or who knows, maybe it's Joe Kinnaman who's drawing all the women.
But then how do you expect RoboCop? But then again, it didn't do that well, so maybe...
But then you have Liam Neeson too.
Yeah, although Cinderella is highly tilted toward the female audience, and they say family.
Oh, you know what? You know what I think it is? I think it's Cinderella was sold out, so then the husbands are like, hey, it's sold out, we might as well go watch One All Night.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
That's my theory. That's my theory.
All right.
It's definitely a guy's movie.
But then again, like 11 million is not a lot in the scheme of things, considering that the movie probably costs around 50 to make.
It does it?
It didn't say, but it looks like it costs around that much. Liam Neeson.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
and all the other characters, and then you have all the action scenes. So not good, I suspect, and it'll probably do better on video when people get a chance to see it, and when they distance themselves, when the movie distance itself from the other movies. Give it some time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if the A- cinema score will give us some legs.
We will find out next week.
Yeah, although it's kind of tough because next week there's another action movie.
Exactly. Which we'll get to. We'll have to save that.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's get down the list.
Okay, Run All Night coming in number 2, 11, with the bulk of the box office going to Cinderella. Okay, number 3, Kingsman, The Secret Service, 6.2 million, a 25% drop.
Yeah, holding up really well, surprisingly, even with One All Night.
Then again, it's already in its 5th week, and it's still like top 3.
That's the thing. There's that, and then with another direct action movie, the drop-off is only 25%, which is pretty surprising.
Yeah. Okay.
Should we move on to Focus?
Yes, coming in number 4 is Focus, the Will Smith, Robbie Margot heist movie, 5.7 million. Well, it's just experienced a 43% drop-off from the previous week, and it's made around 44 million so far.
So it looks like even though it's considered a disappointment, it'll eventually make back its budget domestically. It might even be profitable when the international figures come out.
Yeah, I mean, the budget's only around 50, and it's at 44, so it's almost there.
Yeah, so although a disappointment for Will Smith, it might actually make money for the studio.
Yeah, when international comes in, I think it's going to do well.
Yeah.
And considering, like you say, this is a movie that's outside of its comfort zone, not bad, really.
Worldwide, it's already made 102 million.
Really? 102 million? Wow, that's pretty good considering that it hasn't opened in some of the major markets yet.
Yeah, yep. Let's move on to number 5, last week's number 1 movie.
Wow.
Chappie.
Yes, How the Mighty Has Fallen, Chappie. But then again, Chappie didn't open very well, did it?
Yeah, no. Despite its low opening, it still experienced 57% drop off, which is pretty large. So far, it's only made 23 million with a budget of nearly 50 million. Definitely a money loser.
Yeah,
Unless it cleans up overseas.
Yeah, it didn't do that well. I mean, considering that you have like Sigourney Weaver, Hugh
Hugh
Jackman,
Jackman,
a robot.
Yep, and a robot, yep.
A robot. So yeah, so I think it will continue to drop off from there. 57% drop off in the second weekend. Well, I think which is kind of normal, right?
I think normal for the sci-fi crowd and normal if it opened huge. But the thing is, Chappie didn't open huge, so there's definitely some bad word of mouth going on there too.
Right. I mean, because it only opened to like what 13 million, which is quite a disappointment considering like sci-fi movie with big names.
Although, it being a robot movie, if they market it as an action movie overseas, I guess it depends on how it does in China and Japan, who are more open to these kind of movies.
Mm-hmm.
If it does well in those two territories, then they might break even, or they might even make some money.
Yeah, it looks like big names and robots. Kind of like a recipe for
India, the other big market.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because Dev Patel,
yeah.
So if they market, Hugh Jackman he's huge overseas, so they market Hugh Jackman and then they market Dev Patel in the Asian markets. This might actually make money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the potential. We won't know until it opens.
Okay, so we will keep an eye out on the overseas market for Chappie and see if it actually made back its money.
Yeah, right. But so far, domestically, it's a money loser.
Yeah, it's a dud.
Yeah, it's a dud. All right, let's move on to the second best exotic Marigold hotel at number 6 with 5.7 million. And a total of 18 million after 2 weeks of release.
Right, actually added some theater.
Yeah, added nearly 500 theaters.
Mm-hmm.
The drop-off is only 33%, but I think compared to the first film, which eventually grows like, 45 or 50 million, I still feel like it's kind of disappointing. Well, what do you think?
It is, because because I pegged the movie to open around 6 million, but it did better. I think like 8, and I thought that it would actually hang around theaters. And sequels usually don't do as well as the first movie, so I think it's expected that it would perform worse than the first movie.
Yeah, we'll see how much worse, but at this pace, it doesn't look like it'll do more than 30, 35, or maybe we're still early,
Yeah, who knows? It might be one of those movies that would stay at the 2 million.
Yeah, the art house theaters for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, around there. But then suddenly, whoa, they're at 50. Like where would this movie come from,
Yeah, like the first film. Yeah. So we'll stay tuned. Another film to stay tuned.
Right. It really is an excuse. The second movie, it's really an excuse for the cast to come together. There's really nowhere else to go except to explore.
Yeah, it's really just it was really just a standalone film, but because it did surprisingly well for art house film, they crank out a sequel.
And the story is like, oh, they're opening another hotel, and
it's no longer the best; it's the second best.
Right, and then to make it different, they introduce some new characters.
Yeah,
probably why it's not doing as well as the first movie, but. Hey, still, it opened better than the first movie, so who knows? We'll see. Okay, moving on to number 7, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, 4 million in the 6th week, and it's nearing 155 million domestically.
Nothing more we can say about it other than it's a huge hit.
It is. I'm actually surprised by how well it did because I watched it finally.
Okay.
It seems like it's just like a big screen version of the TV show.
It is.
With some elements of like the Avengers thrown in at the end.
Yeah, right.
So that's why I'm saying it's surprising it did so well.
I thought on a visual level it does look more cinematic. Even to the 2D sequences. I saw it in 3D and. I feel like they made things. There's a depth of field that you don't see in the TV show that you can see on the big screen.
Oh, of course, the production value goes up once you put it on the big screen. I mean, people pay money for that. But I think like thematically, story-wise, it's just like another episode where like the guy, the Plankton, is trying to steal the recipe for Krusty Burgers. Well, anyway, huge success.
Yeah.
Paramount and the SpongeBob.
And they're definitely not going to wait another 10 years to release the third film.
No, strike while it's hot. You never know, like people's attention will turn to something else. All right, number 8, McFarland USA, 3.6 million. It's closing in at 35 million. In this 4th week of release, the Kevin Costner track and field movie.
Right. Kevin Costner looks like he's making a comeback. I mean, sure, it's only 35 million, but for this, it's turning into a decent-sized hit. It's already at 35. It's holding up pretty well. It looks like it'll definitely reach 40 million, maybe even 45. A solid outing for Kevin Costner.
Yes. Okay, then we will seg into number 9. 50 Shades of Grey, 2.8 million. Made 161 million so far, and its 5th week of release.
It's already a huge hit. I think for a film that opened at 85 or 88 million, the drop off is a little bit stalling, because even the Twilight films and the other films that either originated from the whole YA crowd, they've all held up better despite poor reviews. So this doesn't bode well for the sequel. So I don't think.
Yeah, but you're talking about an R-rated movie that features S&M. It's pretty good, Even
I'm not saying it's not a huge hit. It is a huge hit. It's a phenomenal hit.
Right.
It's just, I don't think the sequel will do nearly as well. It seems.
Well, we'll have to see, because even with the Twilight films, I think some of the middle movies possibly didn't do as well as the other ones. But
the Twilight films were pretty consistent, though. They all opened huge. Most, they're all poorly reviewed. And they all kind of have the same drop-offs.
Right.
But, not nearly as high as this one.
Strangely, the actors in those movies didn't really go anywhere.
Well, it's too early. 50 Shades of Grey is still too early, though.
No, I'm saying the Twilight movies.
The Twilight movies.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart. Her career got derailed.
No, her career was going decent because she has that Snow White movie.
Right. It got derailed.
Yeah. It got derailed
because of the Snow White movie.
yeah, right. Because of the Snow White movie, right. Yeah, and then Robert Pattinson is kind of,
He's kind of like, I'm art house. I'm not a blockbuster guy. And the other guy, who is the other guy?
Forgot his name.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's Taylor Lautner or something like that.
Yeah. They tried to turn him into an action star for a little bit, but
right, and then it fell on its face. I think that movie with is it Sigourney Weaver?
No, it was a John Singleton movie.
I know, but I think it was Sigourney Weaver was in it as well.
Oh, it was? Okay, all right.
About a spy?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, Abduction, that movie.
Yeah, Abduction, yeah. They tried to turn him into an action star. It's not working out.
Okay, we'll have to wait for the reunion movie.
Right.
All right, okay. Coming in number 10, moving on, is the DUFF. 2.8 million in its 4th week, and it made about 30 million.
Yeah, I think like McFarland USA is another one of those kind of modestly budgeted, actually low budget film that's doing pretty well in relation to its budget.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those movies that was released in the winter months, right? Because for the lack of competition, and like you say, it's doing well.
Oh, speaking of low budget movies, the Lazarus Effect. It's at number 11, 2.8 million this week, a total of nearly 22 million after 3 weeks. That number is not very impressive, but when you look at this budget of 3.3 million, it is pretty impressive. It's like 7 times its budget.
It is. I mean, how can you make that movie for 3.3 million? I suspect that this movie was made years ago. You think? Before these people got famous?
I don't know, maybe. Although none of them are big names, though. I mean, Olivia Wilde, she's not exactly an actress who opens movies, so I can see how they could make it for 3.3 million.
Right. I mean, although she starred in a couple of big movies, I assume that her asking price might be higher.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe, like you said, she probably made this movie before she became a no name.
Right.
American Sniper is at 341 million. It's definitely the top grossing film of 2004 right now.
Mm-hmm. It will probably reach a 350, right?
Yeah, has a chance. Yeah, at this rate, you'll probably get to 350. Paddington's still at 73 million, which is pretty good.
And the number 2 movie last week, Unfinished Business.
Oh, whoa, yeah.
2.3 million.
The Imitation Game is almost at 90 million.
Yes, nearing 90 million, and it made more than Jupiter Ascending,
right.
which cost 176 million to make.
Right.
And hey, the Wedding Ringer.
Oh, what is it at now?
It right now is at 63, almost nearing 64 million.
Wow, pretty good.
The Kevin Hart movie.
Yeah, considering its budget is only 23 million, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's time to move on to the openings. Okay, this Friday we have the second Divergent movie, Insurgent, and then the drama Do You Believe, which is sort of like a Christian movie.
Oh, okay, another Christian
and
movie.
then Sean Penn's The Gunman.
Let's start with Insurgent.
Okay.
On RT, so far it's only getting a 36% on the tomato meter. I think the first Divergent film was better, right?
I believe so.
Oh, okay, only 41%. Okay, never mind. So it's about in the same ballpark. I thought the trailer for Insurgent actually looked pretty good in terms of it being a event film.
Like when the first movie came out, I didn't think it would do as well, but hey, I guess it's based on one of these popular novels.
Yeah,
because I didn't think that Shailene Woodley.
Shailene, I think it's pronounced Shailene.
Oh, Shailene Woodley. Yeah, I didn't think she would make a good female lead, but I guess she did her job here. Or maybe it's just the title itself. The Divergent series.
No, she was pretty good. She's pretty good. She carried the film.
All right, because I just
she has a screen presence.
Well, I didn't sense that really.
Oh, okay.
From her, so I thought, she did so right. Maybe she as more of a secondary character, but as a lead.
Oh, okay.
I thought someone else might be better.
Oh, okay. But she carried the first film.
All right.
So what are you thinking? The first film opened to the first film opened to nearly 55 million, and it ended up grossing 151 million. What are you thinking? Are you thinking 55?
Yeah, I think it's gonna open similar to the first movie. And let me just add, even though that I say Shailene Woodley didn't have this screen presence, maybe as more of a secondary character, that the movie The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh, right. That was huge.
Made like 125 million. So
what the hell were you talking about?
I don't know. Like I say, I might be replaced by another Ben in the next podcast. Okay, so I just want to put that on record.
So I think those two films together might push this beyond the 55 million. But then the thing is, last week we have a film that opened to nearly 70 million.
Which is Cinderella.
This week, Cinderella. This week, we have another film that opened to a similar level. You
know what I say, right? I always say, right? Yeah. The money's there. You just need the movie to tap into that cash cow. Yeah, I think it will open to similar levels. Who knows? Could be maybe even more. Depends on how many fans the movie pick up, on video. I'm going to be conservative and say, hey, 55.
I'll say 60.
Wow. Okay.
I think that the first film and what's the other one? The
Fault in the Stars.
Yeah, The Fault in the Stars. Yeah, will probably push her bankability up. So I'll say 60 million. And the surprising thing was she was actually in Spider-Man 4, but they cut her character out.
Right, she was supposed to play Mary Jane.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what would have happened if they kept her in the film.
You mean they might not have to reboot the series again?
Yeah, yeah, who knows? And if because she came from two monster hits.
Well, you know what? I think
You
a
know?
good thing that came out of that is that they actually, Sony is
Mhm.
teaming up with Marvel for the other
Oh,
Spider-Man
oh.
movies.
Yeah,
Spider-Man is going into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yeah. So that's a good thing. Maybe the only good thing coming out, exercising her character from that second movie is that it didn't do well enough, so which prompted Sony to team up with Marvel.
Right, so she saved us from watching in the Spider-Man reboots.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so you say 60, I say 55. We're pretty close, really.
Yeah. What do you think of the Gunman?
Ooh, the Gunman. Sean Penn. What movie was he in previously? I mean, like recently. Let's see.
Well,
Gangster Squad, The Secret Life of Walter Minty. Not a lot of well-known stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
Sean Penn's usually he's usually an indie guy, and the Gunman looks more like more like a Liam Neeson movie.
Exactly. He wants to get paid.
Yeah, except it's with very good actors. There's Javier Bardem, there's Idris Elba, and then Ray Winstone. So surprisingly, it's produced by Sean Penn and Joe Silver.
Right. So these guys sit in a room and said, "Look, this is how much Liam Neeson is making. We could be making this much." That's the Gunman.
Yeah, pretty much. They're going for that Liam Neeson Taken brand. They're like, hey, he's a former Oscar-winning actor who turned to action films. Why don't we get other Oscar-winning actors and put them in an action film? And see what happens?
like this is like the expendable for award-winning actors.
Right. Oh wait, well, looks like the director Pierre Morel was the cinematographer of one of the Taken movies. Oh no, he directed the Taken movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so no wonder.
Yeah, the connection is there.
But as we've already seen with One All Night, people are kind of tired of that Taken formula. I mean, look, if Liam Neeson can't open One All Night, what makes you think Sean Penn can do it?
Okay, for the Gunman, the promo show the action scenes, explosions, gunfights, things that people go to the movie to watch, right?
Right.
Whereas Run All Night, by the way, we won't be seeing Run All Day. Run All Night doesn't show these kind of stuff, right? It's more drama-y.
Yeah, but still, Taken 3 was only a couple months ago. So what are you thinking?
I am going to go conservative on this one because I don't know about Sean Penn's ability to open movies these days. I think I'm going to go with maybe 10 to 15.
Oh, 10 to 15.
Yeah.
I mean, the actors are pretty good. You know what? If One All Night only could manage 11 million, I'm going to say this one 5 million.
I thought you would say more.
No.
What, 5 million?
If Liam Neeson can't open a Liam Neeson movie, Sean Penn can't open a Liam Neeson movie.
5 million?
That's like if Bruce Lee can't open a Bruce Lee movie.
There's other copycats.
Yeah. I mean, if Bruce Lee can't open a Bruce Lee movie, what makes you think Bruce Lee can open a Bruce Lee movie, right?
Right.
Or Bruce Lee with one E.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Essentially, this is what we have here. We have Bruce Lee, trying to open a Bruce Lee movie.
Okay. You might be right. But I thought I was being down on this movie by going 10 to 15, but you were even more pessimistic.
Yeah. I'm thinking 5.
5. Wow. Okay. Do you believe?
No, I don't believe anymore. It seems like
not the quote-unquote massive Christian audience.
The thing is, there was this huge influx of, Christian-themed films, and then you see the trend was going down pretty quickly. So I think, do you believe will follow that trend? I don't think it's going to be that huge.
Right. Before, I think I said that the Christian audience would turn out for the Nicolas Cage movie, which the reboot of Left Behind. Didn't happen. So, do you believe? I think optimistically will open to 5 million?
I'm not even putting it at 5 million. I think it's going to be lower than 5 million, maybe 2 or 3 million.
You don't believe in the Gunman.
Yeah, I don't
You don't
believe in the
believe in.
Gunman.
Do you believe?
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
don't
you're
believe.
putting your money on Insurgent.
I'm putting all my chips in Insurgent.
Okay, I'm gonna diversify a bit.
Alright.
Okay, so yeah, we're both pretty
Is that
down on the
it?
Gunman and Do You Believe? Yeah, and but I guess I have them higher than you. But we'll come back next week and see how we do.
Alright.
Okay, all right. That's
Alright, that's it for
all
this
we have
week.
for this week.